You may begin.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call the meeting of the Public Works Committee to order, and that is at 6:45 PM. Councilor Cooper?
Yes.
None of my, oh no, Laura Dolan is connecting now, but right now at this moment, I just want to acknowledge that no one from my committee is here with us. So if you wouldn't mind being my second.
Will do.
For the moment, thank you so much. I only have one item of business to discuss this evening. Last week, I had asked Councilor DeSimone to bring out the connection for the conduit to South Main Street and Wall Street, and she had done that for me, but I had not done the homework, and I had not spoken with Michael Tyler with regards to the light over at CVS on Elizabeth and North Main Street. So I did that today. I actually met with him today to discuss what was going on. So I just want to talk about that this evening and bring that out of committee before we bring it to the Council of the Whole. So there is a constituent who has reached out to Public Works in the mayor's office first, who has a problem and needs an audible pedestrian crosswalk because she walks up from Hodges Street, you know, where like 4 Hodges Street is. She lives down there and she walks up to CVS Pharmacy and she has a difficult time crossing because she cannot see and cannot hear too well. So they're looking to put in the special lights, which we do have at Snell and South Ave. We also have them at County and Wall Street. So we're looking to put them in also over here with it, which is in a walking distance of her home as well. And so this is the request that's before us this evening.
You need a second?
Nope, I want to read the motion, please. Thank you very much, President Cooper. I entertain a motion to transfer $5,390 from account 112410000-578300 Citywide Reserve Fund for transfer to account 142010000-524013 Public Works Maintenance of Traffic Lights to put in audible crosswalk buttons at Elizabeth Street and North Main Street intersection.
Second.
Thank you, President Cooper. Do I have any comments? Welcome, Councilor DeSimone. Welcome, Councilor Dolan. Do you have any comments, questions? Oh, Councilor Dolan, please.
I was just waving.
Oh, hi. Any comments, questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes. I would ask for an adjournment of the Public Works Committee this evening, and that would be at 6:51. All
Second.
in favor? Thank you.
Aye.
We are adjourned at 6:51. Thank you. That concludes Public Works.
And we have to wait till 6:55 for budget.
Funny how that works, huh?
It is. It is. All right, though. Quality time together with our friends.
Bless you.
Unmute. Unmute. Okay.
Now we can hear you talking.
That video. Got it.
Okay.
Can you see me?
I can see you and everybody can hear you.
We can. How are you?
Okay, good. And you?
Good, good to see you.
I had trouble getting on. Thank you, Virginia.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Okay, Jim? I would like to call Budget and Appropriations to order at 6:55 from the docket of November 3rd, 2020. I entertain a motion to authorize the total payment of $21,905.49 for the school department and
turn it up, Kendra.
received in time to be processed in the fiscal 2020 business cycle.
Second.
Thank you, Todd. Most of these bills were received generally after, and really from mid-July on. Some of them, the bills are payment for homebound student services, other health services for a child, out of school district payments, graduation services, vocational supplies, matches of grants, IBB facilitation. So the bills are all in the May's communication, which came down on October 20th. Questions, thoughts, concerns?
None for me.
Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Entertain a motion to adjourn at 6:56.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned at 6:56. Thank you.
Thank
The whole piece. Yeah.
What did he say?
Already said he fixed it.
Huh?
Already said he fixed it.
What did he do?
Already said he didn't know the guy would be only 5 minutes and he left. They were all set.
What?
I mean, we together.
Oh, he wasn't in the office.
So he had to stay outside.
Okay, I'd like to call this meeting of the Municipal Council to order at 7 PM. Ms. Ravad, would you kindly do a roll call attendance? Oh, you're muted, Sharon. There you go.
Mr. Blair?
Yeah.
Miss DeSimone?
Here.
Mr. Conti? Mr. Waterman?
Here.
Miss Jackson? Yep. Mr. Delicio?
Yes.
Mr. Cobus?
Here.
Miss Dolan?
Here.
Miss Holmes?
Here.
President Cooper?
Here,
10 yeas, no nays. I mean, Richard Conti absent, so 1 nay.
that's right.
Yep,
Thank-
10.
At this time, I'd entertain a motion to approve the minutes of April 7th, 2020.
Second.
Thank you. Motion is in order. Any additional questions or comments? Being none, a roll call vote is required and we'll begin with Councilor Holmes.
Miss Holmes?
Yes.
Miss Dolan?
Yes.
Mr. Cobus?
Yes.
Mr. Delicio?
Yes.
Miss Jackson?
Yes.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
Miss DeSimone?
Yes.
Mr. Blair?
Yes.
President Cooper?
Yes.
9 yeas, 2 absent, 2 nays.
Who's absent?
Mr. Conti and Miss Reynolds?
Oh, yeah. So on the attendance, it should have been the same, right?
Mhm.
Conti and Reynolds.
Yep.
absent.
Conti and Reynolds, yep.
Yeah.
Sorry, yep.
And at this time, I'd entertain a motion to approve the minutes of May 5th, 2020.
Second.
Thank you. Motion in order. Any questions or comments? The roll call will begin with Councilor Blair.
Mr. Blair?
Yes.
Miss DeSimone?
Yes.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
Miss Jackson?
Yes.
Mr. Delicio?
Yes.
Mr. Cobus?
Yes.
Miss Dolan?
Yes.
Miss Holmes?
Yes.
President Cooper?
Yes.
9 yeas, 2 nays, 2 absent. So.
Thank you. Motion passes. At this time, I'd entertain a motion to approve the records of October 27th, 2020.
Second.
Any questions or comments? Seeing none, a roll call vote will begin with Councilor Holmes.
Miss Holmes?
Yes.
Miss Dolan?
Yes.
Mr. Cobus?
Yes.
Mr. Delicio?
Yes.
Miss Jackson?
Yes.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
Miss DeSimone?
Yes.
Mr. Blair?
Yes.
President Cooper?
Yes,
9 yeas, 2 nays, well, 2 absent.
that's right. Yep. Thank you. And at this time, moving right along to the mayor. There are no public hearings. There's no joint public hearings this evening. Moving right along to the mayor's communication.
November 3rd, 2020. Dear municipal councilors, I respectfully submit for your confirmation by the honorable body the appointment of Pooja Inyajar, 18 Steeplechase Circle, Attleboro, to fill an unexpired term on the Cultural Council, term to expire February 2023.
Personnel, Veterans, and Human Services Committee, please.
I respectfully submit a communication from the Director of Budget and Administration, Jeremy Stoll, requesting approval to waive permitting and inspection fees associated with the Attleboro Public Water Interconnection Project. In accordance with Section 3-8.3 of the revised city ordinances, I hereby request your honorable body waive the following: stormwater management permit fee, the minor site plan review application fee, building permit fee, waiver, 100% of the fees are required. Electrical inspection fee, waive 35% of the inspection fees as required. 65% of the electrical inspection fee cannot be waived, as that portion of the fee goes directly to the contracted inspector as payment for their services rendered. Copies are in your packet.
Capital Improvements and City Development Committee, please.
I respectfully submit for your confirmation by your honorable body the appointment of Karina Bonifant, 27 O'Donnell Drive, Attleboro, to fill an expired term on the Traffic Study Commission. Term to expire February 2023. Copies in your packet.
Personal Veterans and Human Services Committee, please.
I respectfully submit a communication from Legal Secretary Allison Wood regarding equipment that the Water Department would like to declare as surplus. Therefore, I hereby request your honorable body to declare the following as surplus and available for disposition. Copies are in your packet. Quantity of 200 water meters, condition is used. Quantity of 6 portable 4 gas monitors, condition is used.
City Property and Claims Committee, please.
I respectfully submit for your confirmation by your honorable body the appointment of John Bender, 437 Reed Street, Attleboro, to fill an expired term on the Zoning Board of Appeals as an associate member. Term to expire February 2022. Copies in your packets.
Personnel, Veterans and Human Services Committee, please.
I respectfully submit a communication from Library Director Christine Johnson regarding the need for funds to pay an FY20 invoice to G&G Fire Protection. Therefore, I hereby request your honorable body transfer $230 from account 1610000-524240 library equipment maintenance to account 1610000-578020 library previous year's bills. Copies are in your packet.
Budget and Appropriations Committee, please.
I respectfully submit a communication from the Superintendent of Water, Courtney Winchell, regarding the need to purchase a new Ford Ranger 4x4 Super Cab with a 6-foot bed and toolbox. This vehicle is currently listed in the 2021 to 2025 Capital Improvements Program. This purchase will include strobes, radio, installation of meter reading equipment, and lettering. This vehicle will replace a 2004 Ford Ranger that has 145,000 miles and is off the road due to a failed inspection because of extensive body and cabin rot. Therefore, I hereby request your honorable body to appropriate $31,572 from account 6100-35900 Water Enterprise Fund retained earnings to account 6100-587044 Water Enterprise Fund replacement truck. Copies are in your packet.
Public Works Committee, please.
I respectfully submit a communication from Superintendent of Water, Courtney Winchell, regarding the need to purchase a new Ford Ranger 4x4 Super Cab with a 6-foot bed and toolbox. This vehicle is currently listed in the 2021-2025 Capital Improvement Program. This purchase will include strobes, radio, and lettering. This vehicle will replace a 2007 Ford F-150 that has 246,000 miles and is off the road due to extensive work needed on the engine and transmission. Therefore, I hereby request your honorable body to appropriate $29,972 from account 6100-359000 Water Enterprise Fund retained earnings to account 6100-587044 Water Enterprise Fund replacement truck. Copies in your packet.
Public Works Committee, please.
I respectfully submit a communication from Superintendent of Water Courtney Winchell regarding the need to purchase a new Ford F-350 4x4 diesel super cab with an 8-foot service body, plow prep package, and fuel transfer tanks. This vehicle is currently listed in the 2021-2025 Capital Improvements Program. This purchase will include strobes, radio, and lettering. This vehicle replaced a 2009 Ford F-250 utility body that has 117,000 miles and needs extensive work on the body mounts and motor. Therefore, I hereby request your honorable body to appropriate $65,827 from account 6100-359000 Water Enterprise Fund retained earnings to account number 6100-587044 Water Enterprise Fund replacement truck. Copies in your packet.
Public Works Committee, please.
I hereby request your honorable body to schedule a public hearing pursuant to 16-2.2 of the revised ordinances of the city of Attleboro, as amended, to lay out Angeline Street as a public way, length of 750 feet from STA 200 plus 00 to STA 207 plus 50.20, and accept said way and any related drainage, water or sewage facilities or easements, all as shown on a plan and profile entitled Street Acceptance Plan for Angeline Street, dated September 13th, 2019, prepared by Samuel A. White, Jr., RLS, which plan and profile have been deemed satisfactory to the Superintendent of Public Works. Enclosed, please find the necessary documents.
Zoning and Land Use Committee, please. And Councilor Cobus, would you like to have a public hearing on that matter on December 1st?
Can it be a joint public hearing?
For a street acceptance, I don't think we need to. I think.
No, it's just for discontinuance.
Oh, okay, all right. Then, you said December 1st?
Yes, sir.
Sounds good.
Thank you. Well, we're gonna have to do 3 roll call votes in a row, Sharon, for these streets.
Yep.
A roll call vote will begin with Council Holmes.
Ms. Holmes,
Yes.
Ms. Dolan,
Yes.
Mr. Cobus,
Yes.
Mr. Delicio,
Yes.
Ms. Jackson,
Yes.
Mr. Waterman,
yes,
Ms. DeSimone,
Yes.
Mr. Blair,
yes,
President Cooper,
Yes.
9 yeas, 2 nays.
Thank you. Motion passes. We'll have a public hearing on that matter on December 1st.
2 absent, okay. I hereby request your honorable body to schedule a public hearing pursuant to the 16-2.2 of the revised ordinances of City of Attleboro as amended, to lay out a portion of Palm Street, length of 55.00 feet, from STA 0 plus 00 to STA 0 plus 55 as a public way, and accept said way and any related drainage, water and sewer facilities or easements, all as shown on a plan and profile entitled Acceptance Plan, Palm Street, Attleboro, Mass, dated January 30th, 2012 by Joyce E. Hastings, PLS, and Daniel R. Campbell, RPE, which plan and profile have been deemed satisfactory to the Superintendent of Public Works. Enclosed, please find the necessary documents.
Zoning and Land Use Committee, please. And again, Council Cobus, would you like to call for a public hearing on that matter on December 1st?
Yes, please.
A roll call vote will begin with Counselor Blair.
Mr. Blair,
Yes.
Ms. DeSimone,
Yes.
Mr. Conti. Excuse me, no, Mr. Conti's not here. Mr. Waterman,
Yes.
Ms. Jackson,
Yes.
Mr. Delicio,
Yes.
Mr. Cobus,
Yes.
Ms. Dolan,
Yes.
Ms. Holmes,
Yes.
President Cooper.
Yes.
9 yeas, 2 absent, so no nays.
Motion passes. We'll have a public hearing on that matter on December 1st.
Okay. I hereby request your honorable body to establish a public hearing pursuant to 16-2.2 with revised city of ordinance, the city of Attleboro as amended to lay out Raymond Drive as a public way, length of 700.25 feet from STA 0+00 to STA 7+00.25, and accept said way and any related drainage, water, and sewer facilities or easements, all as shown on the plan and profiled entitled Street Acceptance Plan of Land dated February 10th, 2020, prepared by Richard W. Reed Jr., PLS, with which plans and profile have been deemed satisfactory to the Superintendent of Public Works. Enclosed, please find the necessary documents.
Thank you. Zoning and Land Use Committee, please. And again, Council Cobus, would you like to call for a public hearing? on
Yes,
December
please.
1st?
December 1st.
Yes.
Thank you.
Roll call vote will begin with Councilor Holmes.
Ms. Holmes,
Yes.
Ms. Dolan,
Yes.
Mr. Cobus,
Yes.
Mr. Delicio,
Yes.
Ms. Jackson,
Yes.
Mr. Waterman,
Yes.
Ms. DeSimone,
Yes.
Mr. Blair.
Yeah.
President Cooper.
Yes.
9 yeas, 2 absent.
Thank you. Ms. Ravad, on the next one, I'm going to waive the reading. So just read the first paragraph there and the rest I'm going to waive that.
Okay. On February 18, 2020, the Municipal Council voted a loan order in the amount of $3,900,000 relating to the repairs in association with Brennan/Wamsetter School roofs. An additional need was identified for Hyman Fine and Hill Roberts Elementary School's gymnasium floors after the vote took place. Due to this identified need, it is necessary to amend the approved loan order to expand the scope of the authorization to include gymnasium floors. Therefore, I respectfully submit your honorable body to approve the following amended loan order.
I'm going to waive the rest of that
Okay.
loan order. And that's going to go to Capital Improvements and City Development Committee. I'd also like to refer that matter to the Planning Board. Councilor Waterman as the second on Capital Improvements and City Development. Would you like to call for a public hearing on that matter on December 1st?
That would be fine, yes.
Thank you. A roll call vote will begin with Councilor Blair.
Mr. Blair,
Yes.
Ms. DeSimone,
Yes.
Mr. Waterman,
Yes.
Ms. Jackson,
Yes.
Mr. Delicio,
Yes.
Mr. Cobus,
Yes.
Ms. Dolan,
Yes.
Ms. Holmes,
Yes.
President Cooper.
Yes.
9 yeas, no nays.
Thank you. We'll have a public hearing on that matter on December 1st. And again, the same thing, Ms. Ravad, on the next one. If you just read the first 2 paragraphs, unless anyone objects, I'll waive the reading of the rest of that. And it's all you.
Okay, on February 18, 2020, the Municipal Council voted a loan order in the amount of $6,900,000 relating to the renovations to the Attleboro Public Library. An additional need was identified for the modernization of the elevator after the vote took place. Due to this identified need, it is necessary to amend the approved loan order to expand the scope of the authorization to include the elevator language. The public hearing for the Attleboro Public Library loan authorization revision took place on June 23, 2020. Due to an error by the Sun Chronicle, the newspaper publication for the public hearing for the Attleboro Public Library was not published, and therefore we need to start the process over in order to satisfy bond council requirements. Therefore, I respectfully request your honorable body to approve the following amended loan order.
Thank you. Capital Improvements and City Development Committee, please. And also, I'm going to refer that matter to the Planning Board. And Council Waterman, would you like to call for a public hearing on that matter on December 1st?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. The roll call vote will begin with Councilor Holmes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Ms. Dolan?
Yes.
Mr. Delicio? Excuse me, Mr. Cobus?
Yes.
Mr. Delicio?
Yes.
Ms. Jackson?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
Ms. DeSimone?
Yes.
Mr. Blair?
Yes.
President Cooper?
Yes.
9 yeas, no nays.
Thank you. We'll have a public hearing on that matter on December 1st.
Okay, so
Just one more.
I respectfully submit a communication from Director of Planning and Development, Gary Arazian, and Environmental Planner, Nick Wiley, requesting that the Municipal Council hold a public meeting on Tuesday, November 17th, during which time they said the city's environmental engineering consultant, Weston and Sampson, will present the draft pre-disaster hazard migration plan update / municipal vulnerability preparedness plan and answer any questions. The purpose of this plan is to identify the city's vulnerabilities to natural disasters and actions that the city may take to mitigate negative impacts from natural disasters. In addition, this plan incorporates the impact of climate change and resiliency actions the city may take to mitigate the effects of climate change. Following the presentation, in pursuit to Massachusetts Emergency Management Agency, MEMA, grant requirements, the HMP/MPV Steering Committee and Department of Planning and Development request your honorable body to vote the same evening to give the consent to submit the draft plan to the state for review and comment. The staff will incorporate feedback from your honorable body onto the draft plan prior to its submission to the state. The draft plan may be found on the city's website at https://www.cityofattleboro.us/202/planning-development.
Zoning and Land Use Committee, please. And Councilor Cobus, I did work out a different plan with Gary Arazian than what's in this. So we will not be voting it the same night, just so that you're aware, touch base with Gary. We want to do it in an expedited way, but not according to this communication.
Okay. But
And
we'll still have Gary, the
the
city
7th.
planner here on the 17th. Okay.
That is correct. Yep. And
Got it.
it's not a public hearing. It's just an awareness and a
Presentation.
Yep.
Got it.
And moving on to the clerk's communication.
Attleboro City Clerk's Communications, November 3rd, 2020. An application from Marketplace Supermarket on Newport Avenue for an automated amusement device license for a mini carousel and a truck.
License Committee, please.
The following application were received for Class 1 license. Cerrone Chevrolet, Buick, and GMC at 103 Washington Street with 84 customer parking spaces and 288 display spaces.
License Committee, please.
The following 11 applications were received for Class 2 licenses. 100% Auto, 21 Washington Street, 10 customer spaces, 48 display spaces. Tri-Town Auto Sales, 1850 County Street, 4 customer spaces, 6 display spaces. M&J Auto Sales, 650 Washington Street, with 10 customer spaces and 49 display. Landis Family Auto Sales, 859 Washington Street, 9 customer spaces, 27 display. Pinecrest Motors, 2117 County Street, with 5 customer spaces and 15 display spaces. Vashon Motor Company at 957 Washington Street, 12 customer spaces, 55 display. Byrider at 957 Washington Street with 12 customer spaces, 58 display. JMAC 30 Main Street with 4 customer parking spaces and 23 display spaces. Better Auto at 473 Washington Street with 10 customer spaces, 4 display spaces. Paris Auto Body, 21 Chartier Street with 9 customer spaces and 20 display spaces. And CNA Millennium, 1894 County Street with 10 customer parking spaces and 8 display.
License Committee, please.
The following application was received for a Class 3 license. Tri-Town Auto at 1850 County Street with 4 customer spaces and 6 display spaces.
License Committee, please.
A communication from the mayor's office regarding bulk item update to the contract with Waste Management.
Ordinances, Elections, and Legislative Matters Committee, please.
A rezoning petition was received from attorney Jack Jacoby on behalf of Atlantic Gulf Centers regarding 754 Newport Avenue, also known as Assessors Plat number 69 and lot number 26, B, to change the zoning of the 39.21 acres to general business and general residence A.
Zoning and Land Use Committee, please. And council, also going to refer that matter to the planning board. Councilor Cobus, would you like to have a public hearing on that matter on December 15th?
Right, public hearing?
Joint, yes.
Yes, please.
Thank you. A roll call vote will begin with Councilor Blair.
Mr. Blair?
Yes.
Ms. DeSimone?
Yes.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
Ms. Jackson?
Yes.
Mr. Delicio?
yes,
Mr. Cobus?
Yes.
Ms. Dolan?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
President Cooper?
Yes.
9 yeas, no nays.
Thank you. Motion passes.
And that's all I have for other communications.
Thank you. And we will move on to, oops, sorry, the committee reports.
President Cooper,
Yes.
was there another clerk's communication for more Class 2 licenses?
Nope,
Nope.
that's all I have.
Me too.
No, if you look at the top,
Yeah.
it says clerk's communication. The second one says number 2. The third one says number 3. Number 2 had the other 5. I can read them if you like.
Yeah, because I don't have that.
Okay. Mark?
I don't have it either. Hold on. Go.
Let me see.
I'm digging through my emails. I don't see the second one. When's the
I don't have my work email open here, but I sent it yesterday afternoon.
all right, well, we'll have to do it on the 17th.
Okay.
At the next meeting. I don't have it. All right, moving right along to committee reports.
Public Safety and Emergency Management has nothing to bring forward this evening, sir.
Thank you. Counselor DeSimone.
Yes, President Cooper, Transportation and Traffic also has nothing to report this evening. The Traffic Study Commission is meeting on Monday, so I should have things to report at the next council regular meeting.
Great, thank you. Counselor Waterman.
Yes, the Capital Improvements Committee has nothing to report this evening. We'll meet again next week.
Great.
And can I continue on?
Yes, sir.
And reporting from the Personnel, Veterans, and Human Services Committee from the docket of November 3rd, 2020, I move to approve the appointment of Paul Asfan, 17 Adamsdale Road, Attleboro, to fill an unexpired term on the Traffic Study Commission, term to expire February of 2022.
Second.
Thank you. Motion is in order. Any additional questions or comments?
No, we met with Paul last week. I think he'll be a great addition to this commission.
Great. Any additional questions or comments from the council? Seeing none, a roll call vote is required and begin with Counselor Holmes.
Ms. Holmes,
Yes.
Ms. Dolan,
Yes.
Mr. Cobus,
Yes.
Mr. Delissio,
Yes.
Ms. Jackson,
Yes.
Mr. Waterman,
Yes.
Ms. DeSimone,
Yes,
Mr. Blair,
yes,
President Cooper.
Yes.
9 yeas, no nays.
And
Motion passes.
thank you. And that concludes the business to the Personnel, Veterans, and Human Services Committee. We'll call meeting at the next appropriate time.
Thank you. Vice President Jackson.
Thank you, President Cooper. Reporting for the Public Works Committee. On the docket of November 3rd, 2020, I move to transfer $5,390 from account 1124100-578300 Citywide Reserve Fund for transfer to account 1420100-524013 Public Works Maintenance of Traffic Lights to put in audible crosswalk buttons at Elizabeth Street and North Main Street intersection.
second.
Thank you. Motion is in order. Any additional comments? Counselor Jackson.
Thank you. I have no other additional comments. I just discussed this earlier this evening.
Thank you. Any comments from the council? Seeing none, a roll call vote will begin with Counselor Blair.
Mr. Blair,
yes,
Ms. DeSimone,
Yes,
Mr. Waterman,
Yes.
Ms. Jackson,
Yes.
Mr. Delissio,
Yes.
Mr. Cobus,
Yes.
Ms. Dolan,
Yes.
Ms. Holmes,
Yes.
President Cooper.
Yes.
9 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you. Motion passes.
Thank you. From the docket of November 3rd, 2020, I move to approve the request of National Grid to install a conduit from an existing manhole on Wall Street for service to a new apartment building.
second.
Thank you.
Thank you. Motion's in order. Any additional comments? Counselor Jackson.
Councilor DeSimone was kind enough to bring this out for me last week when I was not present. And this is to obviously help this new building, which we are hoping that comes and flourishes over there on the corner of Wall and County Street and does really well. So, yeah.
Thank you. Any additional questions or comments from the council? Seeing none, a roll call vote will begin with Counselor Holmes.
Ms. Holmes,
Yes.
Ms. Dolan,
Yes.
Mr. Cobus,
Yes.
Mr. Delissio,
Yes.
Ms. Jackson,
Yes.
Mr. Waterman,
Yes.
Ms. DeSimone,
Yes,
Mr. Blair,
yes,
President Cooper.
Yes.
9 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you. Motion passes.
Thank you, President Cooper. I have no further this evening for the Public Works Committee, but would like to call for a committee meeting at the appropriate time next week.
Thank you. Counselor Delissio.
Thank you, President Cooper, and reporting for budget and appropriations from the docket of November 3rd, 2020. I entertain a motion to authorize the total payment of $21,905.49 for the school department, as these bills were not received in time to be processed in the fiscal 2020 business cycle.
Second.
Thank you. Motion's in order. Any additional comments?
I have none, as we discussed it just about a half an hour ago.
Thank you. Any additional comments or questions from the council? Seeing none, a roll call vote will begin with Counselor Blair.
Mr. Blair,
yes,
Ms. DeSimone,
yes,
Mr. Waterman,
Yes.
Mr. Jackson, Miss Jackson, sorry about that.
Yes.
Mr. Delissio,
yes,
Mr. Cobus,
Yes.
Miss Dolan,
Yes.
Miss Holmes,
Yes.
President Cooper,
Yes.
9 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you. Motion passes.
thank you, President Cooper, and that concludes the business for budget and appropriations, and I'd like to call for a committee meeting next week at the appropriate time.
Thank you. Counselor Cobus.
Zoning and land use doesn't have any business tonight, but we call for a committee meeting at the next appropriate time.
Great. Thank you. Counselor Dolan.
Thank you. Reporting for Licenses Committee, I have about 17 tonight. I move to, from the docket of November 3rd, 2020, I move to approve the following 4 Class 1 license renewal applications. Just Trailers, Inc. at 1863 County Street with 12 customer parking spaces and 7 display spaces. National Van Builders at 7084 Pine Street with 8 customer parking spaces and 45 display spaces. Courtesy Auto Group at 11 and 16 Scott Street with 34 customer parking spaces and 172 display spaces. JT Automotive LLC DBA Kia of Attleboro or Kia of South Attleboro at 795 Newport Ave with 46 customer parking spaces and 195 display spaces.
Second.
Thank you. Motion is in order. Any additional questions or comments?
None.
Thank you. A roll call vote will begin with Counselor Holmes.
Miss Holmes,
Yes.
Miss Dolan,
Yes.
Mr. Cobus,
Yes.
Mr. Delissio,
Yes,
Miss Jackson,
Yes.
Mr. Waterman,
Yes.
Miss DeSimone,
yes,
Mr. Blair,
yes,
President Cooper,
Yes.
9 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you. Motion passes.
From the docket of October 20th, 2020, I move to approve the following 11 Class 2 license renewal applications. Gas Plus 80 Pleasant Street with 10 customer parking spaces and 24 display spaces. Classic Auto Sales 1100 Oak Hill Ave with 5 customer parking spaces and 23 display spaces. East Coast Auto Sales 24 Rice Street with 14 parking spaces and 40 display spaces. Blue and White Motors of 1815 spaces. Automazed at 885 Washington Street with 10 customer parking spaces and 55 display spaces and 48 storage spaces. Automazed 2 at 826 Washington Street with 13 customer parking spaces, 80 display spaces, and 38 storage spaces. North Main Auto spaces and 1 display space. Greco Auto at 83 Dickens Street with 10 customer parking spaces and 31 display spaces. County Auto Sales and Service, 42 County Street with 10 customer parking spaces and 28 display spaces. Leans Auto Repair, 141 Pine Street with 7 customer parking spaces and 29 display spaces. New England Automax, DBA Automax Pre-Owned with 10 customer parking spaces and 100 display spaces.
Second.
Thank you.
Thank you. Motion's in order. Any additional comments? Seeing none, a roll call vote will begin with Counselor Blair.
None.
Mr.
Yeah.
Blair,
Thank you.
yes,
Miss DeSimone,
yes,
Mr. Waterman,
Yes.
Miss Jackson,
Yes.
Mr. Delissio,
yes,
Mr. Cobus,
Yes.
Miss Dolan,
Yes.
Miss Holmes,
Yes.
President Cooper,
Yes.
9 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you. Motion passes.
From the docket of November 3rd, 2020, I move to approve the following Class 3 license renewal. Greco Auto, 83 Dickens Street with 10 customer parking spaces and 31 display spaces.
Second.
Thank you. Motion is in order. Any additional comment?
Is everybody frozen? Everybody looks frozen.
No, it's you.
None. Sorry. Can you hear me?
We can, but it sounds sort of like this.
I'm almost done.
Roll call vote will begin with Counselor Blair.
Mr. Blair,
Vote in the dark, yes.
Ms. DeSimone,
Yes.
Mr. Waterman,
Yes.
Ms. Jackson,
Yes.
Mr. Delicio,
Yes.
Mr. Cobus,
Yes.
Ms. Dolan. Ms. Dolan,
Yes, yes,
Ms. Holmes,
yes.
President Cooper,
Yes.
9 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you. Motion passes.
From the docket of October 6, 2020, I move to strike the following: a complaint from Mark Hunter against 100% Auto Wholesalers, 21 Washington Street.
Second.
Second. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Thank you. Motion is in order. Any additional questions or comments?
No.
Thank you. Roll call vote will begin with Counselor Holmes.
Ms. Holmes,
Yes.
Ms. Dolan,
Yes.
Mr. Cobus,
Yes.
Mr. Delicio,
Yes.
Ms. Jackson,
Yes.
Mr. Waterman,
Yes.
Ms. DeSimone,
Yes.
Mr. Blair,
Yes.
President Cooper,
Yes.
9 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you. Motion passes.
One more. From the docket of November 19, 2019, I move to strike the following: a complaint from Doreen DeRoss against 100% Auto Sale, 21 Washington Street.
Second.
Thank you. Motion's in order. Any additional questions or comments? Seeing none, a roll call will begin. Oh, go ahead.
I spoke to him yesterday, and I told him that he's going to have to come to my committee meeting coming up, and I told him I'd let him know exactly when.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Roll call vote, I believe, will begin with Counsel Holmes.
Ms. Holmes,
Yes.
Ms. Dolan,
Yes.
Mr. Cobus,
Yes.
Mr. Delicio,
Yes.
Ms. Jackson,
Yes.
Mr. Waterman,
Yes.
Ms. DeSimone,
Yes.
Mr. Blair,
Yes.
President Cooper,
Yes.
9
yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you. Motion passes.
And that's all the business I have for Licenses Committee, and would like to call for a committee meeting at the next appropriate time. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Ravad, would you just let the minutes reflect that Council Conti joined the meeting remotely at 7:43?
Okay. Okay,
Thank you, Mr. President.
You're welcome. And lastly, Councilor Holmes.
Thank you. Okay, so reporting for Ordinance Elections and Legislative Matters Committee. From the docket of July 21st, 2020, I move to take from the table the proposed amendments for ordinance change by the Health Department to Section 7-7, collection of solid waste as follows.
Second.
Thank you. Any additional comments, Councilor Holmes?
Thank you. We just received the communication the 30th of October from the administration about the updates to the contract. What I'd like to do is work on this to organize it and pull it together and then present it to my committee and then have it to the full council. So I'm hoping to take it off the table, bring it back to committee, do that work, and then have it come out as a full package.
Thank you. Any additional questions or comments? Council Cobus.
Can you just describe for us what the changes are?
So we just got it tonight.
Yeah.
Okay.
We all got it last week, but we were asked by the administration not to release it until he did a formal press release, which I believe he did yesterday or the day before, and it was received into the record this evening. So I would say no.
Okay.
Because in fairness to Councilor Holmes, she wasn't here last week, and she just got the notice formally. The council just received it formally this evening. So,
Makes sense.
but if I were Councilor Holmes, I'd be prepared to have that conversation next week at the committee meeting.
Thank you. Yes, so it's pretty detailed, and so I will do like a summary, and I just want to kind of confirm that our city solicitor has reviewed this, and so like I said, I'm trying to make sure that everything's kind of organized with the amendments that we also made 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Any additional questions or comments? This requires a roll call vote, and we'll begin with Councilor Blair.
Mr. Blair,
Yes.
Ms. DeSimone,
Yes.
Mr. Conti,
Point of order.
Yes.
This is to send the motion back to committee, correct?
No, this is to take it from the table.
Got it. Okay.
After the vote is announced, you made a
Got it.
wise prediction that I am going to send it.
Confirming where we were. Thank you.
Yep, no problem.
Like Carmack the magician.
Thank you. Go ahead, Counselor. I promoted you today, Sharon, maybe. Continue with the roll call.
Okay, Mr. Blair,
Yes.
Ms. DeSimone,
Yes.
Mr. Conti,
Yes.
Mr. Waterman,
Yes.
Ms. Jackson,
Yes.
Mr. Delicio,
Yes.
Mr. Cobus,
Yes.
Ms. Dolan,
Yes.
Ms. Holmes,
Yes.
President Cooper,
Yes,
10 yeas, no nays.
thank you. I'm going to refer that matter back to Ordinances, Elections, and Legislative Matters Committee. And I think that's it. Oh, no. Council Conti. Council Waterman did your capital improvements and city development committee. And I know you'll go back and watch the before, but there were a couple of things that were assigned to your committee with public hearings in the mayor's from the mayor's communication this evening, just to give you that heads up. And are you planning to do the special rules committee this evening?
Mr. President, the committee met last week and we agreed that we would bring that out as new business tonight. And you have to forgive me if I could have just one moment in your patience. Let me up on, and I'll read it off my screen into the record.
Actually,
So it's your special committee, Richard.
yeah.
It's not new business, right?
No, the Rules and Procedures Committee has wants to bring out the rules and procedures to be voted on by the council. So I would like to not have to read that because it's like 60 pages.
I would like for you to not read it as well. But
Counsel me on what I should do, Mr. President.
what I would suggest is that you make a motion from the docket of May 19th to approve the revised Attleboro Municipal Council Rules of Procedure 2020 edition. And then from there, we can have discussion because I have just one small edit to the motion.
Excellent. So. shall I make the
Excuse me,
motion?
Mr. President,
Yes.
may I interrupt? So we all have our motions in front of us, and I don't have any of those motions in front of me this evening. So I'm
So the
questioning, you know how we normally all have the motions in front of us? I do not have anything from this committee whatsoever in front of me. I do have new business in front of me, but that is not the new business I have in front of me. It's not, and I do not have anything from the committee. So I'm just questioning.
Yeah.
And Mr. President, if I may take the floor for just a moment.
Sure.
The committee is comfortable giving Councilor Jackson a couple of weeks.
Perfect.
which would give us time to just change the personnel, veterans, and human services in the document and tidy up a few little loose ends. I will not be in the council meeting next week during the committee meetings, but I think my committee can do that without me. And at the next full council meeting, we'll be prepared to present the rules and committee as a motion on the floor for acceptance by the council in proper order, if that's okay with you, sir.
That's fine with me. Thank you.
Thank
President,
you.
a point of order.
Yes.
Wasn't it voted out of committee last week?
Yep, it was.
So we can't discuss it in committee next week then, correct?
That's right. Those motions would those changes, Richard, would have to be adopted on the floor
Okay, that's what we will do then. No problem.
on
Yep.
the 17th.
Perfectly comfortable with that. So is my committee. I know they are.
Okay, Counselor
President Cooper.
DeSimone. Yes.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, President Cooper. I just want to point out that part of what is currently in the draft is a reflection of the adoption of 940 CMR 29.10, which in fact has not yet been adopted by the mayor, as far as I know. So just a caveat, that's in the draft that you have before you, but I do not believe it's been officially acted on by the mayor at this moment.
To my
Mr.
knowledge.
President,
Yes.
if I may,
Yes,
I
sir.
believe that that's going to have to be an amendment to the rules of procedures following our adoption of the rules of procedure, because I'm introducing it tonight as new business.
I don't have the new business either, Richard.
Oh dear.
So,
I thought we did that I'm sorry, President Cooper.
We did at our committee meeting last
Oh,
weekend. We
thank you,
agreed that we
Councilman.
would present the new business tonight. And I did email the administrative assistant to include it into the motions tonight, but apparently it didn't make it.
so what I would suggest is to keep them separate, Richard, and just do the CMR 940 CMR as a separate amendment after this is passed.
That's
right?
exactly what will happen because it did not make the docket tonight.
Perfect. Okay. Any additional questions or comments, Councilor Conti?
No, I'm good.
Thank you. And you'll call for a committee meeting at the next appropriate time.
I wish to call for a meeting at the next appropriate time. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, let me just see if I see any, I don't see any additional attendees, but I guess just because we should, I guess I'd entertain a motion to go into committee of the whole.
Second.
Thank you. Motion is in order. A roll call vote will begin with Councilor Holmes.
Ms. Holmes,
Yes.
Ms. Dolan,
Yes.
Mr. Cobus,
Yes.
Mr. Delicio,
Yes.
Ms. Jackson,
Yes.
Mr. Waterman,
Yes.
Mr. Conti,
Yes.
Ms. DeSimone,
Yes,
Mr. Blair,
yes,
President Cooper.
Yes.
10 yeas, no nays.
Motion passes. We are now in committee of the whole. If there's anyone on, please identify yourself, and now's the time to address the council on any issue of city business. I don't see anybody. Jim, just confirm for me that there's nobody else.
There is nobody.
Okay, thank you. At this time, I'd entertain a motion to arise.
Second.
Motion is in order. A roll call vote will begin with Councilor Holmes.
Ms. Holmes,
Yes.
Ms. Reynolds, Ms. Dolan,
Yes.
Mr. Cobus,
Yes.
Mr. Delicio,
Yes.
Ms. Jackson,
Yes.
Mr. Waterman,
Yes.
Mr. Conti,
Yes.
Ms. DeSimone,
yes,
Mr. Blair,
yes,
President Cooper.
Yes.
10 yeas, no nays.
Thank you. Motion passes. We are now moving on to new business, and there's one item of new business, and for that, I will recognize Councilor Delicio.
Thank you, President Cooper.
Welcome.
I move that the following item be referred to the appropriate committee for study and recommendation. A recommendation for a citywide vehicle purchasing program. This is sponsored by myself, Ms. Jackson, and Ms. DeSimone.
Second.
Thank you. Motion is in order. Any additional comments, Councilor Delicio?
I have a few, thank you. So on October 24th, it was a Saturday, Vice President Jackson held a Public Works Committee meeting at the Water Department to review their vehicles. During the visit, Councilor Jackson, Councilor DeSimone, and I came to the realization that now is a prudent time to review if the city has a policy or a plan for the replacement, maintenance, and usage of city vehicles. To our knowledge, the city does not have a formalized plan for city vehicles other than a capital improvements plan, which is difficult to implement due to a lack of capital improvement funding. I'd like to see the city adopt a citywide policy for purchasing vehicles similar to what the Attleboro Police Department does. This approach would allow the city of Attleboro to plan for these purchases up to 5 to 10 years out. The city vehicles are crucial to the city's ability to deliver services to the residents of Attleboro. However, we tend to find ourselves buying vehicles in bulk through no real fault of the department head. The purchasing and replacement is one piece of the puzzle. I'd like to see guidelines for usage as well as maintenance created to ensure that we're getting the maximum life out of these vital pieces of equipment and potentially uncover an opportunity for cross-departmental vehicles.
Thank you. Any additional comments? Councilor Conti.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'll be supporting this new business, which would be, I mean, it's in there that it only becomes effective if there's a budget to support it. And I can smell bonding coming in the future. So I'm hoping that this will fall in the capital improvements and city development committee, because I'm very happy that my fellow councilors have recognized this and put this together. And I'm sorry that I couldn't be there to join in on you, and I would have if I could have, but I couldn't. And thank you for doing this, all of you. And that concludes my comments.
Thank you. Any additional questions or comments? Seeing none, a roll call vote is required and begin with Councilor Blair.
Mr. Blair,
Yes.
Ms. DeSimone,
Yes.
Mr. Conti,
Yes.
Mr. Waterman,
Yes.
Ms. Jackson,
Yes.
Mr. Delissio,
Yes.
Mr. Cobus,
Yes.
Ms. Dolan,
Yes.
Ms. Holmes,
Yes.
President Cooper.
Yes.
10 yeas, no nays.
Thank you. That matter is referred to Budget and Appropriations Committee, please.
Thank you, President Cooper.
Thank you. And we got no old business. At this time, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call vote will begin with Councilor Holmes, I think.
Ms. Holmes,
Yes.
Ms. Dolan,
Yes.
Mr. Cobus,
Yes.
Mr. Delissio,
Yes.
Ms. Jackson,
Yes.
Mr. Waterman,
Yes.
Mr. Conti,
Yes.
Ms. DeSimone,
Yes.
Mr. Blair,
Yes.
President Cooper.
Yes.
10 yeas, no nays.
Thank you. Motion passes. We are adjourned at 7:58. Thank you all.
See ya.
Thank
Good night, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
you.